So did he. Well, I gotta tell you this. I got a telephone call, and it was him on the phone. He said, my name is Greg, and da-da-da, and he works out at Nova, and he works in the library, and we start talking. I went out there and I met this guy, and I ain't into this funny stuff. But I love this brother from the first time I saw him. It was just like his spirit, there was something about his spirit that just touched me. It touched me deep inside. And then when he started talking about what he's trying to do for black kids, especially black males, that moved me because, let me tell you this, when you're a black man and you work in an all-white environment, which Nova is, and you work in an all-white environment, it's hard to say, I got a thing for my own people. Because black folks, you know how your parents are when they get around white people, they start grinning? As soon as your parents get around white folks, they start smiling, trying to speak proper English. But this brother moved me. He moved me. He opened his doors. And then the other thing about this brother that moved me was, Eric is back there. Everybody look at Eric. Don't he look goofy? You think he's cool. You think he's cool. But listen, Eric plays the trumpet. And when I go to Dillard and I see the band and stuff, I gotta look out the corner of my eye, because everybody's embarrassed at the youth fest. But I gotta look out the corner of my eye, I see this brother playing his horn, man, it makes me feel so good. He came in here and played. And I want to see Eric take his horn and change the world. I want to see him change the world with his horn. And this brother dedicated so much of his life to practice. Practice, practice, practice. He made a CD. I listened to the CD. I got into it. Because it was jazz, I got into it. So he's going to play today. He's going to talk a little bit to you today. I want you all to kind of grow up. Can y'all grow up just a little bit? I know that rap and jazz are 100 miles away. But could y'all grow up for just a little bit, try to act cool? In other words, try to act like you're from New York City. Because y'all country hillbillies from Fort Lauderdale, y'all think y'all cool. But try to act like you're exposed to something. But anyway, Greg is my friend. I love you. You are my children. Greg is my friend. I want y'all to give him a great big hand.
One introduction. Mr. Crunch is talking about you being hillbillies and whatever, but let me tell you something. If you knew Dr. Mac King Carter, you don't have to hide. Not at all. I was at Nova. This is a couple years ago now. Everybody was very excited because Dr. Cornel West, you guys heard of Cornel West? Yeah, he's written a lot of books. He's a professor he's been at several different major universities, Cornell being one of them, Princeton being another. Major professors known all over the world. Dr. Carter was asked specifically if he would introduce him to the Nova community out there. Mr. Crunch talked about all the white folks that came to hear Cornell. And Cornell was so excited to be introduced by Dr. King Carter. They went back and forth like they hadn't seen each other for a long time. And the fact that you are here at Mount Olive, you are somebody.
Amen.
You are somebody. People know about Mount Olive, believe me. So, Crunch may think you're country, but the rest of the folks out there know you guys are somebody special. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. Got some athletes here. I played football for a little while. There was a position called tailback back in my day. My team we were winning 50-0, just beating the daylights out of the other team. I run to the coach, coach, put me in the game. Put me in the game. He says, Greg, get your tail back on the bench. Greg, get your tail back on the bench. We're winning 50-0, coach, come on. Anyway, my football days didn't last very long. But I want to just talk about a few little things. I want to get on my horn. In life, we face with all kinds of challenges, Sometimes we wear different hats. People like to put different hats on us, so I grab a few hats on the way out. You know, sometimes I like to style a little bit, get my red shirt, red hat. And see, back in my day, we used to match shirts and socks. I just don't do that now. So I would have my red socks on with my red shirt, red hat, you know. So you see me with this look, and I get a certain attitude, right? I'm from North Carolina, so sometimes I'm there, I have to wear, people think this hat fits me better, you know? Well, now, Greg, you're welcome. Now, see, I know country crunch. I know country. That's where I'm from. Oh, Greg, good to have you back home. You know, we got a little snuff dipped inside the jaw there. Yeah, Greg, good to be back home. Yes, ma'am. What's the hat say? Just a good old boy. Chewing tobacco type, you know. Because where I came up, my grandfather raised tobacco. You either chewed it, you smoked it, or you put it in your pipe. Little boy had a little homemade corncob pipe. Go out to the field, grab some tobacco, dry it out, you know, that's the way it was, just a good old boy. Got my grandmother's snuff one day, and that ended my tobacco days. That right there, I never smoked after that, never chewed after that. Got to her snuff, she used to dip stuff in her jaw, you know, and you put in a bucket. I tried that, swallowed some of that, that was it. Good old boy. Some of us might have some roots in other countries, you know. I go down to Jamaica and come back, you know, with a little accent. People say, quit faking it, Greg, so I have to give that up. But where are you from? Where do people say you're from? Where are you going? It says Jamaica, 1962, Independence Day. Some of us like to talk about our empirical evidence. A lot of times I feel if you're going to be in a lecture, you got to have a little beanie on top of your head, you know, to fly different places around. If you want to elocute with style and sophistication. Like Dr. Matt King Carter. It was amazing. Someone mentioned earlier, you could get a vocabulary lesson just sitting down listening to him. Came out a better elocutioner listening to Dr. Matt King Carter. So, take your hat. Sometimes you may feel that you got to join the military to get ahead. Join the service and see the world. Marines, the few, the proud, the brave. Sometimes we down and out and somebody tells us about somebody loves us a little bit. Jesus loves me. Then we begin to learn that Jesus can be our boss. You know, he can guide, direct, point us, help us out in all kinds of situations. Jesus is our boss. I'll leave the last one in the bag, because that's the one I wear all the time. It's a little dirty, a little soiled. My everyday cap, go out in the yard and work. I work with libraries, so it says library design. That's one of the things I like to do too, is I get a chance to visit places like Jamaica, going to be going to Haiti, and try to encourage them to set libraries for the kids and stuff like that, so they can have some opportunities that we have.